Welcome to Wager Wars, where me and Rob go head-to-head each week with our best NFL bets.
I'm Rob, and last week with my bets, I went 1-1-1. I lost one because the Titans blew it, and I pushed a first quarter money line. Now, that puts me at 5-8-1 on the season. I am profiting. I only lost $10 last week. So now I have $285 of profit on the season.
I'm George, and my picks went 0-3 last week. George Kittle having an amazing game but not scoring a touchdown was kind of the low light of my week last week. Rob currently has a $504 lead in this competition. His average line of betting is plus 122, where my average line of betting is plus 142.
All right, here are my week 4 picks for Wager Wars. First off, we're going Jordan Love over 0.5 interceptions at minus 111 at Hot Streaks. A $100 bet here pays $190. I'm really liking this bet, and the reason for that is, well, frankly, he's going to make a mistake. Jordan Love will throw an interception against this Detroit defense. They have, well, been a bit of a crafty defense, and they have some tools to take some balls away. I'm thinking Green Bay is going to win the game, but I'm leaning on Jordan Love to make one mistake. And, well, I think that's pretty plausible. And at minus 111, I'm taking that all day. And for my second pick, we're going to have the San Francisco 49ers minus 3.5 on the first quarter spread. That's at minus 109. So a $100 bet here will pay $191. They're going up against Arizona, and, well, Dallas let Arizona off the hook, and the 49ers will not. I think the 49ers are also much better than, well, Dallas, and we're going to see a big game here. Now, minus 3.5 on the spread is probably the best odds you could find for, the San Francisco to be able to win anything in this game because, I mean, if you look at the money line, it's shocking. Some places have it listed at minus 800 right now, so this is pretty good value, but in the first quarter, Brock Purdy doesn't even have to throw touchdown passes for them to have a big lead, so minus 3.5. I think that's a very comfortable position for them to be in. And for my third pick, we're going to go Miami Dolphins money line at plus 125. So a $100 bet here at Circa is going to pay $225. Now, I hopped on this right away because I couldn't believe this line was available. I think this is a pretty even game, but Miami's got a little bit of moxie going in because they scored 70 points last week. This is no disrespect to Buffalo. I just mean, guys, minus 125 for Miami to win a game against Buffalo. They're right in the mix here. This is fantastic odds. Even George couldn't believe that this was the line for the game. So this week I have an average line of plus 102 and I can return $606. Now this week I'm leaning into the 49ers to win again, but let's take a look at all the quarterbacks that were drafted before Brock Purdy. Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Bailey Zappi, Sam Howell, Chris Oladukin, Skylar Thompson. It just seems bananas to me that this has happened. What do you think, George?
Brock Purdy is the 80th highest paid quarterback, making less than $1 million. But the weird thing is he has the second highest quarterback passer rating. Not to mention, undefeated in regular season football play. My first bet in Wager Wars this week is going to be the Lions minus 2.5. This is an alternate spread you can find on FanDuel for minus 102. $100 down on this will return you $198. The reason why I like the Lions in this spot right here is because their defense gives up a lot of points. It's going to make Jared Goff and the offense have to push it down, which means the possibility of an Amon-Ra St. Brown late game tutty. Count that one in. I don't want to put any time touchdown score because I am saving those wild Hail Mary plays until we get to about week 12, and then I'm going to start throwing some more Hail Marys. The second game I'm taking this week for Wager Wars is the Chargers minus 6.5. This is another alternate spread that you can find on FanDuel for plus 102 odds. Obviously, what we think about when we think about the Chargers is Staley on the hot seat? Well, everybody on that field, I'm not going to lie, is going to be on the hot seat. I just believe that Justin Herbert, after throwing his first 400-yard passing game, is going to replicate a very similar performance. A $100 bet placed down on this will return you $202. My third pick for Wager Wars is going to be the Ravens money line. They're taking on the Browns this next week. If you were to place the money line bet, it's coming in at plus 120 right now. A $100 bet returns you $220. Let me tell you why Lamar Jackson looked completely atrocious last week. It was a performance that he will definitely have to go back to the drawing board and find ways to go back to that MVP caliber. He has it in him. The Ravens, they should have won that game last week. This line is not indicative of how bad the Ravens could possibly beat the Brownies this upcoming week. My average line this week is at plus 107. I'm able to return $620 this week. Rob, this is a wild weekend. We've been following sports betting for a while, and it's absurd, almost unheard of, that the Miami Dolphins can go from being a 70-point scoring team to then the next week being underdogs. And I do understand it's Buffalo, but how is this even on the board?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of books take a lot of Miami action, and they might be able to split things off. So I don't think it'll be terrible for the books. But if you were sharp and able to hop on it earlier, it was actually plus 135 at one point. I think I ended up getting at plus 125. Circa had a good line on it, but I think you're going to be shocked. I think that line's going to dwindle down, and maybe it'll end closer to even money, but I hopped on it right away the second I saw that was available when we made our picks.
The most interesting thing that I would be worried about here is, like, I mean, obviously this line is indicative of a couple of things. One, it's either the home field advantage for Buffalo, or two, the books just know something that we don't. The Broncos did quit last week. Is the win as impressive because they were playing a team that literally gave up on the field?
I think it's good practice reps for them to be able to throw up 70. But what's also interesting, because we're talking about multiple money lines, which I would typically not bet too often, is you've been able to hop on the Baltimore Ravens over the Cleveland Browns on a positive money line, which I did not expect. I probably was going to think that the Ravens would be favorites against this dumpster trash Cleveland team.
The biggest thing in Cleveland right now is Myles Garrett's biceps, okay? And also Deshaun Watson's massage therapist running tab. Those are the two biggest things currently in Cleveland. The third biggest thing's about to get added, and it's Lamar Jackson's heart, because he's had 13 games, Rob, where he's had over 100 rushing yards. He's only lost 2 of those games. Last week was one of them. When Lamar is moving, they are most likely going to win, and I think Myles Garrett's going to have Lamar moving. It's going to be one of those games where if I can bet that Lamar Jackson would make a highlight play that we would remember for the eternity of time, that's happening this weekend. How about that blonde girl that's dating Travis Kelce?
Yeah, so Taylor Swift has the most global emissions next to probably BP, and now they're going to have to hire extra security at Chiefs games. I think you're going to see this one playing out pretty poorly with some type of in-stadium incident. All right, guys, and thanks for tuning in to Wager Wars, and make sure to subscribe to get our best bets and to check in next week to see who won the week.